We're live. I have a question. I'm trying to go live on Instagram, but it's just not working for me. I have a question for you. Please jump in the comments. Let me know where you're from and what the first trick you ever taught a dog was. So that's what I would like to know. So if I can, I don't know if I'm live on Instagram. I think I am. First time ever doing live with um, I have a helper doing live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time. So I'm reading the comments. Please let me know. Let me know where you're from and what is the first trick you ever taught a dog. And I'm going to tell you, I remember the first trick I ever taught a dog. I believe I was 12. It was my sister's dog. So looking in the comments to see what you got. And today it's about, yeah, obviously Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Wow. Cindy from Atlanta, the name I recognize. The sit was the first trick you ever taught, LaDonna? How long ago was that? The very first time you ever taught any dog, not your current dog. I want to know. Yeah. So Sarah said, I taught my childhood dog Beg natural behavior. He did. Um, Shake a paw from Finland, first behavior ever taught. So this is kind of cool that I can see the people joining from Instagram. Hey, you Instagrammers, Catherine from Montreal, shake a paw. Nobody has got the first trick I've ever, but you're all dancing around it. Um, okay, more than 30 years ago. So I was 12. I taught my first trick. I'm 29 now. What's the math on that? Okay, don't laugh too hard. That's rude. On Instagram, we have from Brazil. Hello from Brazil. And another one from Germany. Hello. What is the first trick? You guys over on Instagram, what's the first trick that you ever trained a dog to do? I would like to know. Shake a paw. MJ says go to place and sit and high five. And when do you remember, because I sure do, how you felt when you had accomplished that? Like how you felt when you had that dog trained to do a trick. I want you to think about that one. I'll come back to that one. Hi, Michelle from Michigan. Wow, Ruthie, my not so old friend Ruth Hunt. Boston Terrier, 1968 spin. So spin and turn from Dundas, practically neighbors. Yeah, you felt. I remember. So the very first trick that I ever taught a dog was to dance. So I kind of gave you a little foreshadowing when I said you're all dancing around it. I think shake a paw is very common. Roll over is another one that's super common. The very first trick people teach their dogs. Before we go too far in, I'm just going to share with you. We're giving away prizes today. There's prizes. So I'm going to give away 3 Be Kind stickers, and I'm going to do 2 right now. Plus, I'm going to give away a tug toy. So the tug toy comes from the amazing people at For My Merles. So I'm going to give a tug toy that looks very similar to this one. If I can get Sarah, thank you for sharing. So, and all you have to do is share this live. Just share it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and come back in the comments and say shared. Before the end of this, my team is going to pick 2 people to win a Be Kind sticker and 1 person to win a tug toy, and we're going to give it away before the end of the live. It's like these Be Kind stickers to me are like what some people do with Franks. Put that on anything, and there's another word that goes in there. But okay, so tell me where you shared it, and the team will do their double checking, and then we're going to do it. We're going to give it away. Jackie from BC. First trick was poodle when I was 6, sit up. Yes. And poodles naturally just do that. And that was the same with me. We had a family poodle named Tina, and I taught Tina to dance on her hind feet in a circle. And I remember thinking that it was like black magic that I was able to get Tina to dance. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Uh, hey, somebody's new from the UK, have never seen me before. Well, welcome from the UK. Uh, Report Studios, welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you joined us. I would like you to so think about that now. And some of you shared how it felt. I still remember 12-year-old self when I could show off to my family, which was a very big family. Watch what Tina can do. Like I still remember how I felt. Now, I'm going to ask you another question because this is going to be different and it's okay. I want you to think of something like teaching a dog to stay or teaching a dog to not pull on leash. Um, so, teaching your dog those behaviors for the first time. Now, I learned how to teach those behaviors from the book I still have on my bookshelf called How to Raise and Train Your Chow Chow. And I was 15 years old when I learned that you put them on a choke chain and you pop them down. So I want you to think about things that have not been a trick, that they've been more, you need to do this kind of behaviors. And maybe the first or the last time you trained your dog to do this, how do you feel when you're training that? That for me is very emotional because I feel, and maybe it's because I was always super competitive growing up, and I still am. That when the dog didn't stay, when the dog pulled after I taught him, that I would be triggered because they weren't doing what they were told. They were being spiteful, stubborn, and I would start training with my teeth grit. And anybody else? I mean, am I alone? Do you guys? Did you ever go through that? Maybe you still are. Maybe there's a transition. Maybe you're still in a place where if you told your dog to do something, like a stay, like a don't pull on leash, what other behavior, Jenny, would you think that you've taught down and they get their elbows up? Oh, jumping on your guests when you've told them. How do you feel? How do you feel when you are working through one of those? I am being completely honest and a little bit vulnerable here because I feel a little bit ashamed to say that. When I was working through those challenges with some of my earlier dogs, they were in trouble. They were wrong. They needed to, you better know. Like it wasn't my best self, that's for sure. So I want you all to think about um, somebody on Instagram, Lead with Fun, said, I still flinch with the stay. Embarrassed, Sarah Lou on Instagram said, I still feel ashamed, even though that's not how Susan interacts with her dogs today. I definitely felt ashamed. Now, here's when I had my big epiphany. My now late husband, John, was an obedience judge. And when we first started dating, I had a border collie named Stony, who was amazing obedience dog, who was trained the way I mentioned, like you better stay at nope, leash pop. I was in the transition of, when she was about 2 years old is when I started to look more at asking myself this question, and it wasn't probably until the 1994, so she was 4, when I said, obedience, it is a series of behaviors: walk on leash, sit, stay, come when called, retrieve the item, and go over the jump and higher things. And I said one day, let's say there's 15 behaviors that you have to go in the obedience ring and do, like a militant little soldier, and you get scored out of 200. And I said one day in 1994, if somebody told me take your dog in the ring and you have to do 15 tricks. And at then Stony, I think, knew like 99 tricks and some really complex tricks. She could limp on one paw, limp on another paw. She could bounce on her hind feet. She could crawl, back up like for miles. So many. Oh, climb a ladder. She could climb a ladder, go down a slide. She had so many tricks. And my big epiphany was if I was going in the obedience ring and I could give the judge, here's 99 tricks, you pick 15, and my dog will nail them. First time, every time, happy, excited, perfect. And that was my epiphany. What's the difference? Because I never felt when my dog didn't do a trick when I asked them to. I always felt, I guess I didn't teach it the way I thought. I never physically corrected the dog when they didn't do the trick. And I'm like, and maybe that's why I always felt excited and proud and connected when we did tricks. And when I did any kind of formal training, I felt like I was always on high alert. Are you doing it right? You better be doing it right. And that's why I think, I mean, our podcast is called Shaped by Dog because I've been shaped by dogs to be a better human being. Because now that judgmental person looking for all the things the dog might be doing wrong is not there in my interactions with dogs. And guess what? It bleeds over to your interactions with people as well. So the topic of this podcast, it was a bit of a trick question. It was if I said to you, what percentage of your training time is spent on tricks? I bet you any of you who are on any of our classrooms, the answer is probably going to be 100%. 100%. Because all the training we do with our dogs is a trick. And what's wrong with that? Can you think of one thing that is wrong with having an attitude of everything is a trick? Remember, how does it make you feel when you're training a trick? Right? Karina put, yeah, 100%. 100% of what I'm training is a trick. So if we feel good and connected and proud when we're training tricks, and we can bring that into absolutely everything we do in our training and interaction with our dogs, then we're going to feel good and proud and connected with our dogs anytime we train them. And if something goes wrong, then we look at ourselves. Oh, I guess I didn't train you the way I thought I trained you. You're gonna look at the dog not performing their trick with curiosity, not with blame. And that was my epiphany that I remember saying to John when we were first dating. Like, really, does it have? And John was the kind of judge that appreciated a dog that had personality and showed joy rather than the ones that were kind of low profile with their ears a little back and walking low. He appreciated a dog that looked like they wanted to be in the ring that day. And so I'm like, yeah, just name a trick. Stony had so many really cool tricks. And so if you feel like that, this live is to encourage you to look at all of the training you've done with your dog. And if you're brand new to training, question anybody that asks you to have a different approach to training that way. I'm trying to continue to look at people on Instagram because I don't see your comments coming up on the main thread, but I'm keeping and checking an eye on you. All right. So if you're going to train that way, then something like shaping, which is the topic of this week's podcast, was on shaping behavior. And I know most people look at shaping behavior in that we take something and we incrementally grow it till we get where we want to be. And I don't look at shaping like that. I look at shaping in that we are teaching behavior blocks. And any trick, for example, the trick of teaching a dog to retrieve or hold starts with blocks of behavior. My retrieve starts with a hand touch, which is a which is a trick that I use for so many. It's a behavior block that gets put into another trick. And that is how we grow behavior. No matter if it's something we absolutely must have, the dog must come when they're called, right? I don't. I want my recall to be 100%, but I mean, we're all animals, so I want my recall to be 99.9%. And how we get it that way is by training in these behavior blocks. All right. And that is, I don't know if you're aware that right now um we have two of our programs that are on a promotion for Valentine's Day. And there are two amazing programs. They're actually connected. Homeschool the Dog is a probably one of our most popular programs right now because it's 12 games, 12 behavior blocks that lead you to other things. So I think when I think of what are some of the first things that I teach a dog, I want you guys to answer that. First thing that you teach a new puppy or rescue dog. You get a new puppy, you get a rescue dog. What are some of the first things that you teach them? First things that you teach behaviors. And there's no wrong answers. There's probably 10 different things you could teach a dog. But what are some of the first things that you teach a dog? When you have a rescue or a new puppy, it's like they're with you the first 2 weeks, let's say. First things looking for. Sit, one of them. No wrong answer. Potty outside. Yeah, those are things that we really want. Um, sit, potty. You know what? I'm going to just share with you. The sit is one of my puppy was like 5 months old before I even started teaching the sit. But it doesn't matter. You have your priorities. I have mine. I'm not right. I'm not, and you're not wrong. This is just what is important to you. Their name. That's a really good one. Their name. Boom. Name recognition. The dog's name. That's super. It's your choice is a good one. To love their kennel. So crate games. Sit, stay. In the first couple of weeks, just not too important for me, but if it depending on your life and how they integrate into your world. So call or grab, there's some of these games. These are more connection and conditioning, which I love. Settle play. You know what? You guys still haven't picked on the things that are the first things that I teach. Name definitely one. Comfort and Crate says something on over on Instagram. We've got it's your choice. Sit and eye contact. I have never taught a dog eye contact, not since 1992. Eye contact is just a byproduct of the way we train. The dogs naturally just want to don't want to take their eyes off us. Hot zone, crate games. Okay, I'm going to share with you things that I focus on are conditioning words that lead the dog to understand how they can get reinforced. So, the number one reinforcer for all dogs on this planet, it's the number one reinforcer for humans too. It's the same. Dogs and humans, their number one reinforcement is the same. And I don't like hot dogs, so that's not it. Number one reinforcement is the opportunity to choose. There's nothing more powerful than any animal on the planet than choice. The feeling of reinforcement that every animal gets when they're given that opportunity to choose. And so, in order for my puppies to understand that, they need to know their name. They need to know what we refer to as location specific reinforcement markers. When you hear the word cook, stay where you're at till I come where you to. That's what my grandpa used to say to us. My grandfather's from Newfoundland. So that's showing some heritage. Cook means don't move. I'm bringing you a treat, a food treat. So cook is a location specific reinforcement marker. Search. is a location-specific reinforcement marker. It means you can now look for food on the floor. Bring is you can now pick up that toy and bring it to me. And tug or strike. Like those are 4 that I work into the first week, probably in the first week. Dogs' names and then the location-specific reinforcement markers. And because they're so important to me, we do build those into Homeschool the Dog, that program that it's on the screen now. Homeschool the Dog is how we teach those are built in as the foundational blocks, right? So some of you are saying that a lot of you saying, yeah, markers. Dog Mother on Instagram said markers. Yes. So those are games that we built in. Teach that I am fun. That's a general, yeah, we want our dogs to consider the new puppy or the rescue dog, that the reinforcement that they're looking for. You don't have to look out there, look here. And when we set up context for those puppies or rescue dogs, that reinforcement from me is super easy. If you set up reinforcement from me comes with a list of strings attached, then the dog's just going to look to their environment for their easy reinforcement. It's a simple way to get there. RJB said, Homeschool the Dog is fantastic. It's a gateway drug for Susan's training. That's awesome. I didn't think of it as a gateway drug. That's awesome. So, just for those of you who are interested, I'm just going to tell you right now, here is how you can learn more about, if you go to dogzat.com/heart14, you can learn more about Homeschool the Dog and Wag Nation. Now, they are, Homeschool the Dog, I think for everybody raising a dog, one of the most critical things that you want taught really well, and that it isn't taught really well, is the retrieve. You want a dog who will retrieve when you ask, and that actually is a free bonus in Homeschool the Dog. I have a program called the Bring Me, and Bring is another location-specific reinforcement. Tells the dog to drive out, grab it, bring it back. That's free in Homeschool the Dog. So another reason. And Homeschool the Dog is normally $295 or $297, and Wag Nation is normally $120. So somebody did that math for me. It's like 700, but you can get them together right now just for $97, because Halloween's about love. Valentine's Day is about love. Valentine's Day is about our heart dogs, which they all are our heart dogs. And that's why the team said, we want Valentine's Day week to always be about easiest ways to build love and understanding with our dogs, and that's Homeschool the Dog and Wag Nation. So that's why we have that just for this week. So I think it's till Monday. Is Homeschool the Dog possible without treats? Is school possible without treats? Dog training, like any kind of training, is about reinforcement. So if your dog doesn't like treats, and what is it that is reinforcing? And then we need to build a love of treats through what it is that they love right now. Teaching, yes, Claire, it's in Recallers as well. Absolutely. There are things that are in Homeschool the Dog that aren't in Recallers. I think that the release queue in Homeschool the Dog, we have some shaping demos and focusing on the dog, offering behavior, more of how to use a clicker. That's kind of in there. That isn't in our other programs as well. Okay, so I'm going to try and go back to my Instagram. People wearing a harness, that's one that you'll want your dog to love. So if you're members of Recallers, it's you already have learned about game playing. There are some games that are the same. They're just taught differently, and there are games that you don't have, like exercising the dog when you're inside the house and things like that. So it's this, if you're thinking of doing it, we've got one Be Kind sticker winner now. And that is, we're just going to give this out right now. Ruth Nicholas. our first winner. Boom. So I believe, if I can see that again, yes, home or I believe Hot Zone is taught in Homeschool the Dog in great detail. Yes, it is. And Hot Zone is giving that dog the understanding of, you know what, when I open the door, I need you to stay away from the door so my guests can come in and not like get plowed. That's one of the great uses of um of the Hot Zone. Okay, so in the what we call accelerator bundle, the things that you get when you're in Homeschool the Dog, understanding of release cue, growing the value for tug, and for some dogs, like they just don't even know how to tug. So we help you by saying there's a like a gamble ball where you can put food inside. How do we use that correctly? Because so often it's just used as a big lure, and then that's when big training falls apart. Helping dogs that may have a low level of separation anxiety. We're not going to say if you've got a dog who's phobic and highly medicated that we're going to fix it all. We have made massive differences in helping dogs be more comfortable when left alone. I'm not promising that your dog's going to, all dogs are going to be overcome because of this small program. It really is an introduction into making everything a trick in your dog's life, making you feel good when you're training your dog. That's really what it's all about. All right. Okay. So I am going to, let me see what else I wish I could, wait, I got to get this off of here. There we go. All right. So we also have, I said, the Bring Me mini course. And the really cool thing is we want people in this program, and all of our programs, only if you want to be there. So you have 14 days to get in, see all the games that we have for you, download the things that we have available for you right now. And if you say, "Oh, this isn't for me," or I don't want to be here, then we'll give you your money back. And the really cool thing is when you join today, Homeschool the Dog, we give you WAG Nation, which is a membership where I think right now there's 45 different or 45 or 46 different tricks, and 45 or 46 in the membership. It's a learning lab, and then there's trick time. So we give you a new trick every month, but you can have all the old tricks that are already there. There's 45 of them or more. Oh, 45, 46 tricks and 45 lessons in the learning lab. So when you join WAG Nation, you're joining to get a new trick and a new dog training lesson every month. But the really cool thing is we don't keep all of those other lessons just for the people who've been there. When you join today, you get them all. So you are getting like 4 years, almost 4 years worth of lessons that we've put in there without paying any extra. Actually, you're getting it for less. It's $97 for both of them. Okay, any questions about any of it? I've got to go over to Instagram. So a lot of love for the program. Recallers was fantastic. I started Homeschool the Dog and then I moved to Recallers. That's a great way to do it. Homeschool the Dog, I think, should be mandatory. Tomorrow, if I get a chance, I'm at an agility trial this weekend, but if I get a chance, I want to do a special live on why Homeschool the Dog is great for anybody who wants to go into dog sports. We'll do that tomorrow if I get a chance at the trial. I don't know what the internet's going to be like. I was really Ruth Nichols wrote, "I was told shaping is no good for my dogs, and that advice is wrong, and they're doing amazing with the program." Aw, lots of love for you, Ruth. I don't know who if somebody said that, it would be somebody who really doesn't understand the laws of learning and how they're applied. So Nana wrote, "Homeschool the Dog is a fantastic intro to training with Susan and her team. I've been teaching 6+ dogs over the last 10 months and changes are a miracle." That's so cool. And you can put as many dogs as you win. This is for you. You're a member. And if you happen to have 2 dogs and you can work both dogs, you can if you feel that you want help and you can video your training and put it on the website, our coaches will help you work through your mechanics and improve your mechanics. This isn't about just buy this product and we're going to leave you on your own. We want you to have success with it. So that's why it's important that we see that you're in a better place a week from now than you were yesterday because you joined the program. Okay, we have more Be Kind sticker winners. So Aries Wrap, I like that name, and Jade. Jade, is that Jade or Jade? Jade. Okay, three winners of Be Kind stickers. Boop, boop. So you get them, you get the program, you get the all of these positive reinforcement only friendly. Yes, fairy god, dog mother. Everything we do is reinforcement based. Um, it's all about growing understanding by being patient and recognizing if the dog isn't successful, then we have to adjust our approach to it. And I don't believe, and here's what people will say: oh, that method is for some dogs, it's not good for all dogs. It's applying the laws of learning. And of course, it's good for all dogs. So I've had terriers, I've got a rescue bulldog mix, I've got border collies. And do we have to use different motivators? Like the bulldog loves his food, loves his tug, but the border collies love their tug more than they like their food. And so that's where we might change. But it isn't that we say bulldogs must have an e-collar because they are bred to be stubborn and work through cows kicking them in the head. Therefore, this positive stuff won't work. Oh, nay, nay, I say, to quote the late, great John Panay. Oh, nay, nay. All right. And if you have listened to our Shaped by Dog podcast, then this is the first natural step for you is to join Homeschool the Dog and Wag Nation. Any other? Oh, yeah. If you have questions, yeah. So Sarah is in Homeschool the Dog and wants help with getting the dog's response to reactivity to his own reflection. So do you have a pen that you can write these questions out, and then I don't have to, I can just read them once. You get that. So a lot of that is conditioning. So and here you go. Here's a pen and here's some paper. So reactivity is in most cases is a dog's confidence, and the more that we can help our dog be confident in any environment, the more the reactivity will decrease. I'll give you an example. I think it was 2 weeks ago I mentioned that my young puppy Prophet, who is now 7.5 months old, started showing a negative response to men, in that he would growl or bark or back up. If they tried to pat, he would pee. And now it's 3.5 or 4 weeks since that started, and he sees men and he goes running up to them. So how did that change? It was being patient and building confidence in different environments, getting him out in different environments and not asking him to be around men until it was his choice. So the more you can grow your dog's confidence in all different environments and prevent the trigger that's causing the fearfulness or the reactions, the more you're going to get a dog that's going to be able to overcome, because we're going to live in a world where they stay under the threshold of that trigger. Okay, I hope that made sense. Arlene said, I believe every dog will improve. Not a magic pill, but pretty amazing, even if you do things perfectly imperfect. Oh, Arlene, this is so important. None of us, myself included, I've been training dogs, well, informally since I was 12 years old, when I first taught our toy poodle Tina to dance. I've been training dog professionally since 1989 was when I started getting paid to train dogs. And it's rare if I have a dog training session without a mistake. The biggest challenge is for people to give themselves grace. The grace that I'm asking you to extend to your dogs that if they make a mistake, they're not bad, they're not wrong, they don't need punishment. It seems that that's sometimes easier for people to extend to their dogs than it is for them to extend to themselves. We all are going to make a mistake, and that's why saying, even if you join Homeschool the Dog and you get only 10% of the mechanics right, I know you will be in a better place than you were a week ago with your dog. And we will help you grow that. If you're okay with being perfectly imperfect, we're going to help grow that 10% application to 25%. At 25% correct mechanics, you're going to see some huge changes in your dog's responses. And then we're going to help grow that to maybe 50% correct. It all starts with you being okay with what you have or what you see as a limitation. My dog is too big and I'm too small. I don't weigh enough. My dog's so strong. My dog is breed X. My dog doesn't understand. If you're okay with where you're starting and say, I'm willing to let go of the past failures that I've had, then this program, you are going to see change. 100% you're going to see it. But it starts with you being okay with being perfectly imperfect. That's a great way to put it. Here's a question. Wondering if Homeschool the Dog or Recolors would be better for us. So right now, like if you go to our website, dogzat.com, and just look at our courses, you'll see that Homeschool the Dog is $297. Well, right now you get it plus Wag Nation for only $97. So I would say start here and then work through this. You should be through these games in like 4 months. Then you can ascend to Recolors. I think that would be great. Okay. So Marge joined Homeschool the Dog for her rescue dog and feels that the initial progress can be slower while they're building their shattered confidence. And I think that's just so true, that your dog might be stuck in being confused, especially if you've been using a lot of lures in your training or corrections in your training. There is going to be a level of confusion for the dog. And the best training in the world, the best trainers are the best trainers because of their experience in their intentionality of mechanics. So I've been doing this. I've been training my dogs this way. I think about it when I sleep. I think about how to improve dog training. So therefore, my mechanics are going to be better than yours, and that's okay. It's not the best is going to work and the rest isn't not. If you're okay with seeing your dog's face, here's what you're going to see first. You're going to see the light bulb go on for your dog and them go, this is fun. Can we do this again tomorrow? And that's going to make you want to come back and do more training. And that's how you're going to see progress. If you're already doing Homeschool the Dog and you join, will it be extended for 4 months? Cindy, no. And my team can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if you're already in Homeschool the Dog and you join this, you actually get a year. You get another year. So I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. You always use clicker or luring? I don't always use a clicker, but I use the science of reward-based training with a marker. So that's where the specific location-specific marker reinforcement markers come in, like cook, search, tug. So I don't always use a clicker, but I do not, as a rule, I do not use luring. Right? I just think, remember I said what the number one reinforcement for all dogs and all humans is the power of choice. And when you're using a lure, you don't get the same dopamine hit as when the dog has an opportunity to make a choice. Janine, I recently joined alumni. Would homeschool the dog be a benefit? Can I join WAG Nation without homeschool the dog? Well, I'm alumni. I'm assuming you mean alumni for recallers. Janine, contact the team at wag at dogsat.com, because I don't want to steer you wrong, and I know my team will be able to tell you exactly what will be best for you moving forward. Okay, over on Instagram. Okay, not sure if this question is zoomed by. Is it beneficial for my other two dogs to watch while I start training my first dog, or should I keep them all separate? Ah, what a great question. Here's what I have always done, and it works great. And it depends on your dog, so I'm going to give you two scenarios. What I did back in the 80s and 90s, I would have my dogs all get on the couch, and AKA hot zone. I never called it hot zone. That's not what I was. It was they were all on the couch. And I would give them cookies for being on the couch, and I would call one dog's name, and then I would start training that one dog. But I would still give the dogs cookies that were on the couch. I'll train you a little bit, boom, 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 give that dog a cookie. Now that requires you being able to focus on this dog's training and these dogs' training, and that might be too much to start. So it might be better to leave the other dogs in another room and then train one dog. But here's what I remember training this way in obedience with my two Jack Russell Terriers. I wasn't using, corrections then, although I started. And I would leave one and one on one side of the door. There was a coach on the other side of the door, and I would train in this big training area that I had downstairs in the lowest level of our house. And when it would be time to change out dogs, they would like go into this. No, I don't want to go out there. I don't want to. I want to keep training. I want to keep because training is fun. So you can do it either way. Just make sure that you build value for them being outside of the training. So what I'm saying is, let's say you keep your dog in a crate in your bedroom while you train this dog. The dog in the crate needs to get reinforcement from you as well, because otherwise all the cookies and all the fun and all the joy happens here. I don't want to be in here. You're going to get some anxiety, which I don't want to see. So it's a great question. Really good question. So you don't need to keep them separate, but maybe to start, you might want to keep them separate. All right. I'm going to put this back up here for all of you who want to see what it looks like, that there's the opportunity to join the program. There's the opportunity to see what the money back guarantee is like. And again, there's a link in the bottom that you can talk to my team to see if you have any other questions I haven't covered here. But I want to just go through. Okay. Do I have in-person training? I do not. I occasionally train at a workshops, but I haven't. I think Australia, was it last year? Yeah, was the last time I trained in person at a workshop. Oh, I am teaching at APDT this year. I think that's September, October, or November of 2024. So that will be me teaching in person. Okay. So I'm going to give away another prize. So this prize, let me just find my prize list. I'm going to be giving away a Restore bed. Probably one of my, it's like a memory foam, and you can put it on top of, well, I use it on the Blue Nine Climb, but I've also used it on, like, if you have one of those beds that you can travel with, like a Coleman bed or like a, just a raised bed, love them on that too. Personally, I also use these when I take a nap at an agility trial. So I have two of them, and because they're memory foam, super comfortable. So I use it. We're gonna give one away, and here's how we're gonna do it. If there is anything that I said throughout this live that you went, "Hey, I never thought of it that way before," or "Hey, that is a really good dog training tip." If there, what we call a gem, if there was a gem that made you go, somebody else needs to know about this, then I want you to go to my Facebook page. Now, if you're not on Facebook, you go over to YouTube and wait until this live is ended. You can't do it now. but you're going to write it in the comments on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube after the live has ended, please like the video, because that's how YouTube will share it to more people. So as soon as this is over, I would love for everybody to jump over to YouTube, like it, and leave a comment. So, and what we're looking for is a gem. Anybody that leaves a gem, we're going to pick a winner tomorrow, and either tomorrow or Monday, depends on if I'm able to go live tomorrow. We're going to give away for free. Thank you to Blue Nine. Let's have some hearts for Blue Nine. Thank you. We're going to give one of those away. That's all you have to do. Share it on Facebook or go over to YouTube. If you're not on Facebook, everybody can get access to YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, please, when we ended, like this live and leave, even if you're going to leave a gem on Facebook, come on over to YouTube as well, because it just tells the monkeys that control YouTube in the back, that pulls the levers and the strings and blows the whistles, that, hey, this dog training channel is worth people watching. So I would greatly throw a heart your way if you would give us some love over on YouTube. So that is what I have for you right now. Please go to dogsat.com/heart14 for all our heart dogs out there. Every dog is a heart dog, right? Every dog is a heart dog. And I love to see y'all in Homeschool the Dog, no matter where you're starting from. I think you're going to like that program. I really do. I'll see you. Fingers crossed I can go live tomorrow. Hey, everybody, before I go, tell your dog I said hello, okay?